my Aquarians. Please make sure to get a book at Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. The links will be in the description box below as usual. So I am putting all of my prices back to for the tarot back to the original price. 50, 60, and 70. 50 for 30 minutes, 60 for 45, and 70 for the hour. And I'm also going to release my courses for 30 bucks each. I suggest getting all three, not because necessarily I'm trying to make money, but because it's actually going to help you out. Because in the first one, I basically explained the basics. The second one, I explained the importance of like financial, like how you create financial understanding. And then in the third video, I essentially tie the three together. A lot of people, you know, they think that somehow, you know, I'm not understanding, you know what I'm saying, and I'm not qualified to talk about financial stuff. Listen, okay? Whatever it is that you choose to do, disclaimer, whatever it is that you choose to do with your finances is up to you. Me, look, I got my head in these books. You know what I'm saying? I got my head in these books. You know what I'm saying? All the time. This ain't just the only book that I have. I have my head in these books. I have tons of books around me. Hold on a second. You know what I'm saying? I have tons of books. Okay? This is what it is that I do. So, I would never tell people a bunch of BS to get them messed up so that they can come back to me. And disclaimer, I'm not technically responsible for what you do, but I don't want people to stop freaking with my YouTube channel because they're saying to themselves, oh, you just a scammer, you just on some BS, you just out here one of these types of people that doesn't know anything what they talking about. I would never do that. I'm not one of these other people on here who scam people, stuff like this, and do all that. I'm not. I don't want the FBI on my heels. That ain't my cup of tea. I'm studying in these books. You know what I'm saying? I'm studying. I got a whole curriculum for myself that I practice. I'm studying in these books to make sure that when I make moves, I don't get myself jammed up in the police's, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like this. So I wouldn't tell anybody some BS to get them caught up in a situation. No. So, you understand what I'm saying? But, you know. So, let's get into it for the Aquarius. Sorry for the rant, but I had to get that off my shoulders. I'm not a scammer. I'm not a scammer. Let's get that clear. I'm not one of these people on YouTube who scams people. That's not what I do. Them ain't my shoes. So the cards that I come up with are the Four of Wands, the Judgment, the Magician, the King of Wands, the Two of Wands, the Six of Swords, the Eight of Wands, the Five of Swords, the Three of Cups. Wow, Six of Wands. Okay, very interesting read for the Aquarians. Let's see, for the Aquarius. Lovers, Page of Wands, Nine of Swords, Ace of Wands, and last but not least, the Hierophant came out for the Aquarius. So what I'm seeing here for you Aquarius is I'm seeing, number one, a lot of you Aquarius are ready to date. A lot of y'all are ready to date. Your family seems to be reasonable, where there's not a whole lot of craziness going on in your home. Your house is much more stable. Judgment, you're able to kind of see things for what they are, decipher if people are real or fake. You're able to see that a little bit now. The Magician. And because of this, you're now emotionally and mentally and financially able to date. Some of you Aquarians have taken some time off to not date. Some of you Aquarians jumped right back in the dating arena because you may have already been financially and emotionally ready. You just needed to take a couple of days off, right? A week or two. The King of Wands and the Two of Wands However, you do have people who you may have met who come off a little bit arrogant, right? Or whom you have already met coming off a little bit arrogant. These are the type of people who think that they are better than you, not necessarily because of your character and their character and your low life scum. They see themselves as better than you because maybe they have more money, maybe they, all these real idiotic things. They gain much more money than you, but they lost their soul in the process. So the Six of Swords now is about how a lot of you Aquarius have decided to leave this person alone because you realize they're out of their mind, right? All these metrics that decide whether or not a person is what makes a person noble. The Eight of Wands and the Five of Swords. You tell them that they're gonna, you told them, let me show you. You told them that you're gonna leave, right? You're leaving. You told them that you're gonna leave, and they're like, oh, fine, go, because I was never interested in you anyways. And you're ugly and all this other type of stuff. And what makes you think this is what they saying? They disrespected you on your way out. You were just trying to be upstanding and telling them that, hey, you gonna leave, and they telling you, kiss my rear end and all this other type of stuff. And the Three of Cups now is about how they were saying that they already had somebody, and you're not the only person that they was talking to. So the Six of Wands is like, okay, you saying, all right, cool. Well, since you already have so many people on your roster and you know so much, all right, I'm gone. This is what a lot of you Aquarius is saying. So the Lovers now is about you still looking for it. You're letting this person go, right? A lot of times sometimes people think that Aquarius is cold and distant. Can be, but Aquarius can love you better than a Taurus can sometimes. Wink, wink, hint, hint. Anyway, I told you I want to hang out with Aquarius. So, the Page of Wands, you know what I'm saying? The Page of Wands, you see what I'm saying, represents this is a new era in the context of love, because the Nine of Swords is, even though you're still looking for it, you're still thinking about how people don't really meet you halfway when it comes to the context of love. Yes, Aquarius can be quite selfless, especially when it is that they like you, they love you, they feel something for you. Aquarius could be one of those zodiac signs where if an Aquarius likes and love you and can admit that and embrace that, because you do have some Aquarius who know that they like you and then they ignore their emotions, and that's where the psychotic behavior comes from, right? But when it comes to Aquarians who know that they love you and they can admit it, what you have is you have a situation where Aquarius is very selfless, right? Aquarius can represent the evil hero in the sense of the hero who is a hero, but a person who the hero who essentially is exalted, because like Batman, right? They think that they don't need that person, right? Even though the bat essentially puts itself on the line every single night in Gotham, right? You catch what it is I'm saying? But then when you realize how much the bat sacrifices, you realize, okay, well, maybe we do, because we wouldn't do that. We wouldn't do any of the things that bat does. So the things that the Ace of Wands, right, and the Hierophant now represents how a lot of the Aquarius now, what it is that you need to do is you need to look for someone that represents this Hierophant, which is someone who has a form of an identity. They have strong standings, okay? And the Hierophant is about this person who is essentially holy, And I'm not necessarily talking about organized perspective. I'm talking about a person who has character. So So the Nine of Swords represents the Nine of Swords is you wishing, but the Hierophant and the Ace of Wands represents the people collectively, or the person whom you're wishing for. You want to be able to meet this person who gives you an offer, who has some form of character. That's what it is that you want. So let's clarify. Let's clarify the Hierophant. This is why I tell people a million times. What you're looking for is a person with character. Because if you don't have a person with character, a person with no character is going to be poor. Because criminals are usually poor. Financially even. You know what I'm saying? Because in the ancient days, the Moors, the people who would essentially go against their Moorish inheritance, for all my Moors out there, the criminals, the renegade Moors and stuff like this, people who decided that they didn't want to freak with the Moorish hood anymore and stuff like this, and you got it became the Holy Roman Emperors, or the Holy Roman Empire, or the Roman Empire. Wink, wink, hint, hint. They were poor. The Roman Empire was poor. The thing is that they're not even Romans. They were called Romans as a nickname because you had to roam all around the planet, smack people around and take their stuff and then claim like it was yours once you absorbed it. You see what I'm saying? So essentially criminals are poor because they cut themselves off from their inheritance. So they lack character. Because they cut themselves off from their inheritance. If they would have stayed upstanding and well high-level character people, they would inherit their family's riches after a certain age. Wink, wink, hint, hint. The person who doesn't have character doesn't have anything. Literally. So the Three of Bats, Page of Bats, the Sun, to clarify the Hierophant. You want to be able to let go of this heartbrokenness. Once you see someone who has high character, you'll be able, but you want this person to understand that, you sacrifice a lot when it comes to your relationships. And the Sun represents that when you find yourself someone, Aquarius, that does have this level of understanding, it will be like the sun coming up. Warmth, heat you, keep you warm. You know what I'm saying? Bright new day for you, essentially. Let's clarify the Nine of Swords, because it seems to be the root of the problem. The Hangman, Nine of Bats, Six of Imps. So the Hangman, the Nine of Bats, and the Six of Imps, to clarify the Nine of Swords, is about how this is going to take some time, Aquarius. What I suggest you do is still continue to really work on your emotional self and learn to detach a lot more from what had happened to you. Understand it, though, and embrace the pain. And then after that, let it go. Don't ignore it. The Nine of Bats now represents how, like I said, that's the embracing of the pain, right, that you're going to need to do. So you got the Nine of Swords essentially twice, okay? So embrace it. And then you have the Six of Imps, which is the Six of Wands. So you got Six of Wands twice. So this is about how once you learn how to embrace what happened to you and you understand what it is that you did wrong and how you need to zero in on dating a person who has character and that's someone whom you can hang out with, right, where the two of you have mutual interest, then you essentially found the person that you're supposed to be with. It really is quite simple, it really is quite simple. It doesn't have to be that super complicated. It really is quite simple. So let's clarify the Lovers. The Seven of Pumpkins, the Temperance, and the Strength card. You've met so many people who have a huge ego, who you've had to essentially kind of excuse away, or not excuse, but learn how to not become okay with, but learn how to love them in spite the fact that they have huge egos. Well, now it's your time to actually embrace that you're doing that, and now is your time to change that about yourself. And this change will be much more pleasurable than if you got the Tower card or something like this. But it will be a little bit painful at first, but you know, you Aquarius or air signs in general should be much more adept at doing that. Don't ignore your feelings. So that's pretty much it. Comment on the video, like the video, subscribe. Make sure to leave a like, okay, as well as a comment in the comment section. Get to that comment section. I don't know how it is that people can leave likes to stuff like this, or barely like, or whatever the case may be, and gives me a whole bunch of views, but at the same time, they don't leave a comment, they don't like. Get to that comment section and leave a like. Peace.